Alright guys, welcome to the first Blue Challenger Series Cup of July. My name is Counterfeit, joined by Dealers today, which will be bringing you, of course, our regularly scheduled ESL competition. But alongside that, we'll be letting you guys play live on stream. And Dealers, that's what we're going to do to kick off today's broadcast.
Nice. Well, you know what, Counterfeit? I always like seeing you play on stream because that means I get to flame you a bit more. So that's always fun, right?
That's right, guys. We're helping Dealers work through his emotional issues live on stream. It's going to be exciting stuff.
I need to get it out of my system, guys.
I understand. We're all here with you, Dealers. We're all here with you. But what we will be doing to start us off with, we'll have to wait a little while for that initial flaming to begin because we're going to open it up to everybody on stream to play in this first community game. Hey, Ace Wanderer. Nice to see you again.
You know what, Counterfeit? It's probably for the better because while people would probably want to see like the top MC5 gameplay like you and I do think that they would probably prefer to actually see good people play MC5.
Well, we'll have to see. I hope that we will get a good crop of community players today. So, ESL 123, if you're on iOS, come and join in and show off your skills live on stream. For today's tournament, I'm happy to announce that we've got Pap in to head things up today, as well as Aviator featured on the ESL side of things. So if you see either of those guys in the chat or on the ESL Discord, you guys will know what they're here for and that they're making everything happen behind the scenes. Woof! So, Dealers, we are only a little way away from the new patch coming in. I don't know if you got a chance to see Dulzy's stream, but the big thing coming out of the patch is that the tracker is going to be a new class in MC5, though it's not obviously live in ESL as of yet. We don't know what the ESL status will be, but that whole class revolves around having a doggo friend who goes around biting people.
Yay! You know what, kind of it? To be fair, I'm actually afraid of dogs, so I think it's a nice touch for all you dog-loving people, but it's not my thing.
How about robot dogs? How do you feel about robot dogs?
Well, you know what, kind of it? I probably think that's still a dog, but I haven't met a robot dog in real life, so I couldn't say. Though, I would probably still be very scared of it.
Well, that's too bad. Maybe there could be a skin where it was turned into something less terrifying. Like a spider. Or a bear.
Well, I'm also scared of spiders.
How about spider bears?
Though, you know, we do have, I believe, what's the English word for it? Bird spiders, is that the word?
Bird spiders?
Yes, I don't think that's no, tarantulas. There we go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
As in they eat birds, they aren't birds themselves. Yes.
No, yeah, bird spiders is like the literal translation. So tarantulas, we do have tarantulas in Denmark, and you know I'm going to the only place we have them here this summer, and I'm trying to convince my girlfriend to go down into the cave with me because I'm scared of spiders. Cave? Yes, I'm scared of spiders. Yeah, well, it's not like they're not as crazy as Australian tarantulas, but like I think, as far as I know, their bite will sting, but I think that's it. But I'm trying to convince my girlfriend to go down to the cave with me because I kind of want to experience it, but I don't want to be alone because I'm scared of spiders.
Wait. So there's a cave somewhere in Denmark that's full of, let's say, generously, not man-eating, but person-eating spiders. And you thought the best way to get over your form of arachnophobia, which I'm assuming can't be particularly severe if you're even considering this, is to go into a completely uncontrolled environment and let these spiders drop on you.
Well, not really.
No? Okay,
like,
tell me which way am I misunderstanding?
I'm not gonna let them drop on me. I'm just gonna like have a look at it, or have a look at them. Rather.
And you think you've got an agreement with these spiders to, you know, not be chill while you're down there?
I'm pretty sure people go down into that cave all the time.
And sometimes they even come back out again.
Yes, they do. Weirdly enough.
Well, I mean, far be it from me to suggest.
I'm pretty sure it is tarantulas, but I could be wrong.
So you're saying you're going to go into a cave with a bunch of bloodthirsty creatures, you're not even sure what they are. They could be, I don't know, wolves or bears or bear tarantula bears? Those two words don't really go together terribly well. But anyway, yes, Ace Wanderer, thank you for dropping by the stream once again. And Hero Gaming Stamina, one of our heroic moderators, keeping everything all nice and Gucci throughout the stream. Guys, let us know, have you ever decided to face your fears in a way which would make other people scratch their heads and say, I think that seems like a very poor idea?
Okay, so here I just found the page for it. So
okay,
being stung by the spider is like being stung by a bee, so it's not really that dangerous. But
unless it drops into your mouth.
Yeah, probably, but like I'm not sure that's gonna happen. But see, the female spider is about the size of a hand.
Okay.
And it's okay, so it's not a tarantula, it is a, so what would you call this in English? It's a cave spider, but I don't really think that's going to be close enough. It's called Meta Minardi. Okay, so in
That's
English,
a
that
scientific
is
designation.
the European cave spider. So it's a long-jawed orb-weaving spider.
Long-jawed.
So it's
Okay, it's sounding appealing already.
yes, it is also known as the orb-weaving cave spider, the cave orb-weaver, or simply the cave spider.
Is it? Does it have any nicknames? Like Old Scratch, or
No, but apparently they live from Scandinavia to North America and from Europe to Korea. But you can also find them in Japan and Madagascar.
sorry, what was it called again?
Oh, we have a code, by the way.
Oh, well, how disappointing. We could have been
Well,
here talking about creepy spiders all day long.
It is called. So the Wikipedia page is called Meta Minardi, but just search for European cave spider, and then you should be able to find it.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what, I'll put that on hold for a second because, as you said, our first ESL match is here, and who knows whether or not that one will take place in a spooky cave. I like to think so.
Woo!
Actually, to be fair, that isn't something we've got in MC5 yet. Spooky caves.
Or spooky spiders.
Or spooky spider caves. There you go. And, oh, in good news, Ace Wanderer drank a lot of coffee. Too much, 15 cups. Oh, wow, that's way too much.
Apparently, so the cave that you can enter, where the cave spider's in, you can go 50 meters into it, and there'll be like spiders all the way in. Gee.
I honestly don't know what to say.
Well, I think it'll be interesting, but then again, I'm still scared of spiders.
You are definitely not scared of spiders if you're contemplating doing that.
Well,
I just refuse to believe anyone who actually was phobic of spiders would consider doing that.
Well, yeah, I'm not gonna go ahead and kill a spider if I can choose not to.
Right.
Because, like, I'm scared of doing that. I'm scared of touching a spider. But I also see it as a natural wonder that we have that in Denmark. And I kind of just want to see it before it's gone, you know?
Wait,
Because I
where's
could
it
imagine
going?
that, well, nowhere, but I could imagine that, like, global warming and stuff like that will probably kill it.
Okay. Well, this conversation has been extremely weird. But fortunately, we will never have to think about it ever again, for we have monsters versus no players.
With players, fortunately.
Oh, well, Hunter wants to go into the cave first. Oh man, Hunter wants to join you as a spider person. How exciting!
Oh, so Hunter, do you like spiders?
I think there's a
Well, you can
sense...
probably tell us later on.
Ace Wanderer, I would definitely try and make sure that you get some water as well. 15 cups of coffee seems like that's probably going to be extremely unhealthy for a person. Anyway, because
15 cups of coffee?
Yes, that seems like something that could do someone actual harm.
Yeah, that seems like an excessive amount. But then again, guys, excessive amounts of MC5 is actually good for you. So welcome to the stream, and do bring probably like 5 cups of coffee. I think that's probably a bit more healthy.
Alright, well, no coffee, no players, no monsters that live in caves or outdoors. Right now, the no players are managing to build their own little web in the center of the map, currently with the lead. Canada, up until the moment we dared look at them, doing pretty darn well. But I think, hey, there we go, Punisher practice. 4-1 so far, pretty strong.
Ooh, but Counterfeit, the no players, they are being deadly right here with this lead. They're gaining that from a lot of headshots right now. 7 headshots compared to the 3 of the monsters. So no players, they have their aim on par, and they are more than deadly.
Ace Wanderer, you feel kind of ill. go and drink some water. I don't know what is a counteracting agent to coffee, but maybe someone in the chat could have a look up on it online, and we'll see if we can do an intervention for Ace Wanderer. Let's see. So the monsters, they control the outside. The no players, their territory is firmly inside. But the monsters, they've got the lead. So something's got to give if the no players want to win.
That is certainly true, and the no players, they are rocking a sniper, actually 2, and could just peek out for a second to try and see if they can find just a single person out of line from the monsters. But they're not doing that quite yet, and the monsters are not giving them a chance to find those kills that the no players they are looking for.
Yeah, it's really surprising how static it's played for a while.
GRD getting that kill right there, as I said, with a sniper, looking to just take someone down from the monsters who are out of position.
Hunter wants to be a Spider-Man. I think I already noticed that already. I'm not sure that's what happens when you get mauled to death by spiders, but, you know, it's never happened to me, so I wouldn't know.
Yeah, I was about to say, do you have any experience with that, or else you couldn't know?
I mean, I've studied the theory. Ace Wanderer, you haven't slept in... You haven't slept in 2 days. Oh boy, Ace Wanderer, you gotta look after yourself. It's no good.
Wait, so he's been drinking 15 liters of coffee and not sleeping for 2 days?
Probably not 15 litres, unless they're drinking out of litre
sorry,
mugs.
yeah, 15 cups.
But yes, guys, we're not just about making sure that you're here today, we're making sure that you're here tomorrow. I mean, the monsters are doing a pretty good job of making sure no players will not be here next game. But we want all of you to look after yourselves, and that's why Hero Gaming, Simon, Hunter, our moderators and hunters, well, in fact, moderators, friends of the stream, we're all going to do our best to try and make sure you guys live to see tomorrow if we can have any influence upon the subject. So, Ace Wanderer, apparently it is the cure is just to drink a lot of water and then do some exercise to get it all flushed out of your system. Otherwise, I think you might have some health issues.
Probably, yeah, but you know what, guys, who also has some health issues. The no players, they're falling quite far behind right now. 4 kills, and with the timer running down and this game being very slow right now, the monsters are looking to pick up their first victory right here. So the French squad, they want to take down one of all of these Japanese squads who are playing in this tournament here today.
Play hard on the rest of the team. We have got a flank around from Rum, the strongest player on the Monsters squad. Will announce their presence by setting off and almost managing to get into the backside of the fight. The rest of the Red squad, the Monsters, though, a little late on executing on that distraction. Means that it's now only 2. Or make that 3. Or even 4. Separating the 2 teams.
But kind of it. You know what? Groza, right now, 8-4, looking absolutely unstoppable. Maybe Groza has also had at least 15 cups of coffee.
Oh boy. Let's check in with them. Yes, 9-4 so far. Currently outside, it is looking like the no players have completely lost their grip on this first game. Their interior of the map territory has been taken from them, and now the monsters are the ones doing the hunting.
Well, even though the no players, they actually field 5 players, they aren't doing too hard for themselves. They had a good start to the game, but they've slowly been falling behind, and it's not even like you're seeing a lot of military support coming out from the monsters. It is actually the no players in the lead with that military support compared to the monsters, and no players, they're simply just being out rotated. Oh wait, sorry, I'm looking on the wrong way. Monsters, they are in the lead in terms of military support, but it's not by far, and it just comes out to these individual outplays and the mechanical skills of the monsters that they're able to take down the no players and for Groza to find that last kill.
For the monsters, Rum definitely the standout player there, getting some truly ludicrous numbers by the end of the game. But that will be our first game in the books. Of course, we will be shortly having a second game, but because this is our first game of the day, I'm going to try and make sure you guys have plenty to do all the way through. So with that in mind, we're going to set up a community game, ESL 123, while we wait for that second game to come through. There's every chance that we will have to jump out for our next ESL encounter, but that doesn't stop you guys from still having a good time while you wait. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Yeah! There's a player with a who's asking for a channel for Modern Combat Versus, wanting support. I'm afraid I don't actually have a good contact for anyone who's looking for that kind of stuff to do with Modern Combat Versus. I would recommend going across to the Modern Combat Versus official Discord, and I imagine someone will be able to direct you the right way there. They have a community manager for Versus who I believe is called Karen, and if you tag her, she should be able to at least direct you the right way. So guys, come and join. Global chat invite, ESL 123 on iOS today and tomorrow. Natsuki, welcome. Ace Wanderer, too much energy. Oh boy, no kidding. Drink that water, Ace Wanderer.
Wait, how can you have too much energy?
Well, if you start to do things you didn't mean to, like going blibble, blibble, blibble.
Well, kind of it. Since we're talking about animals...
We are not, but sure.
Well, we were talking about animals then, and cave spiders. See, I was out walking in the forest here the other day, and I saw a big type of snail. Have you ever seen the Roman snail?
I have not. What is unique about the Roman snail?
Well, it is a species of large, edible, air-breathing land snails. And, well, you don't see them very often in Denmark, but I think that the French people, they like to eat this type of snail.
Okay. Well, I mean, it looks pretty standard.
Yeah. No, it's actually a really big snail. You don't see them very often anymore. We used to have a lot of them where I used to live, and they were protected species, but then they kind of like destroyed the whole area. So I hadn't seen one in ages, but they apparently live in the forest close to my home.
Huh. Fair enough.
But they are really big, and it's a really nice snail.
Oh. And just while they might still be here, thank you to Hunter for helping set up things today. Just dropped by for a little bit to make sure that we all got set off before heading to bed. I believe Hunter is based in the UK, so it's just past midnight for them here. Jose and Angel GG. I don't know if let's see. I think it was Hero Gaming who could speak Spanish for Jose, but hola, welcome to the stream. I think we might be... Oh, there we go. Okay. Yes, so doing a great illustration of why we don't tend to do community games between rounds of play is that we've actually got our next ESL game right now. So guys, grab yourself some water, especially if your name is Ace Wanderer 1572. I want you to have drunk a glass of water by the time we get to this next game. Otherwise, I don't know. Won't do anything about it. But that is your prescription. It's up to you whether you choose to follow it. In fact, I recommend that for everyone. We'll be back in just a few minutes' time with our second encounter between the monsters and no players. So guys, make sure you're nice and hydrated, and we'll be picking up our ESL competition in just a few moments' time. Friends, we're back. Monsters versus no players. Their second encounter takes us to the frigid outdoors. A veil of mist falls upon this battlefield, for the monsters are up one game and no players have no points.
When they need to get that here now, they definitely need to show up, because with the monsters in game number 1, it was all about no players controlling the early game, but once you got to the mid game and once the monsters were allowed to slow down the pace of the game, they just took over. And honestly, Jonathan, it didn't look too good for the no players, so I have my doubts here for game number 2, and we need to see them show something.
It felt like the no players squad did best when they were able to control, a central place and operate out of there. So I like at least that the no players have got control of the upper rooftops, while they're taking a little bit of a hammering from the explosives coming from down below, as you can see here. Eventually those grenades are going to run out, and if no players can keep the game pace as it is right now, eventually the monsters will be forced to face them on their own terms.
That's certainly true, and only time will tell that, but for now, the no players, they are doing fine. 1 kill up, and we know it's the rooftops. It's always a very slow-paced game that we see here on the rooftops. So hopefully the no players, they can keep this up and just make sure to not give up any kills. They have control over the actual rooftops right now, so they can just chuck grenades down. They can look through the small holes in the rooftops and see if they can land some of those shots. Right now, still up by 2 kills, and Canada is definitely putting in the work, finding, I believe, 3 kills here in this game.
Make that 4 with that last exchange. Yes, no players seem to have got this game much more in hand compared to game number 1. We know the monsters, though, if they've got an opportunity to put the no players team into a full-on rout, they will take it. So far, though, it's not happened, and maybe the no players can equalize.
Well, no players, they might just want to try and get a bigger lead, kind of thing. 2 kills is fine. It's a good start, but there's a long way to go. 4 minutes and 40 seconds. You're far from home, and you're far from the finish line. So the no players, they would love to get a bigger lead, but the monsters, they equalize the score, and they put this to 16-17, kind of it, 17-17, and 18-17. The no players, they have to work for this.
That kill we saw Canada getting just then was on Rum, the top scorer on the Monsters team, along with Frozen. In fact, it's very much on Frozen and Rum to try and carry the team's performance. Frozen doing reasonably well so far, and Rum as well, but every time one of those two players goes down is a big opportunity for the no players squad to start racking up some serious points.
But that is going to be hard now that the Monsters, they have that lead. We saw in game number 1 that once the Monsters, they have a lead, they're not going to give that up. And I think we're just going to see that once again. With the time running down, the no players, they need to find it now. Or else I think it's going to be way too hard to come back.
We've officially reached the halfway mark of this second game of the day. Let's check in around the place. We've got Zen score off to one side. Most of the Monsters occupying the right hand side. They're now the ones up on top of the rooftops, but it looks to be that we've got some perhaps corridor fighting developing down in the bowels of the earth.
But Counterfeit, while the no players, they are starting to fall quite far behind, they can hope for a bunch of quick bursts of kills, and it would help them a lot. Seeing as how they have 6 more explosive kills than the Monsters, well, finding quick bursts of big loads of kills could be a reasonable thing to imagine that no players they can do.
Let's see. So if anyone's going to do it, it looks like it's probably going to be Canada getting taken down there. Of course, the Recon class will struggle a little bit to get those kill streaks going with no extra assistance coming in from the class. Just pure kills for Canada. The only way they're going to start getting those really heavy hits in for no players.
2 minutes and 15 seconds left to go. Dumbo finds a kill. They need 5 more to equalize the score. Now 7. Monsters. They are looking like monsters, and they're looking like they're ready to take down the no players. And now that they have reached 42 kills, 8 more will be the magic number, Counterfeit, and then everything will just be over for the no players. And then the Monsters will truly be monsters, taking down the no players.
Of course, this is just the start of our ESL competition today. For these two teams here, the prize, such as it is passage to the next round of play where #1 seed and Korean representatives Impossible Missions Force are waiting for them. So Monsters, they've done pretty well here and they will lock down that second game. They have got one of the biggest challenges of the tournament waiting for them in the next round.
Yeah, man, they will have to go up against Impossible Missions Force. Coming in as our first seeded team, that is going to be a hard task for the Monsters to take down. But I do think they're going to have a fair chance, seeing as how they were able to quite handily control the no players here in this game. I don't see why they shouldn't be able to put up a good performance as well against the IMF squad.
We'll be keeping our eyes out for Frozen and for Rum in the future games of the Monsters, but for now, it's back to you guys once again with the passkey ESL 123. We're going to set up a break game. Let's see, so what are you guys saying? Every country has gamers who play MC5? It certainly seems to be the case. I haven't ever actually counted how many different countries there are that take part in the ESL competition, but it's quite a few.
And, well, there's also a lot of Japanese squads who do play here in these North American Cups. So for the Blue Cups, which are primarily targeted towards Asia and North America, we do see Japanese squads, a few Mexican, a few American, but mainly Asian squads coming in. And Japan, they always field a bunch of teams.
Ace Wanderer got some water? That's good. But got more coffee? That's bad. Ace Wanderer, I don't think you know how these... it feels like we're half on the same page, we're half not on the same page. If the problem is one is drinking too much coffee, then I guess it's better to have got a cup of water and a coffee. But I still feel like we're kind of, we're ending up more or less where we started. Monarch Gamer, is it still worth installing? I would say so. The game is still being actively updated. There's a new class coming out in the next update. If you haven't played for a while, there's the Battle Royale mode, which is honestly pretty good. And I definitely could recommend. We'll play a little bit of that later on so you can see it. So yeah, like, you know, if you like what you're seeing here today with the ESL competition, if you want to play in it yourself, join a team and compete for money in the weekly tournaments and potentially make your way to monthly finals later on. Yeah, we've got a good esports scene. The game is still actively being developed, so I think it's pretty good days for MC5.
It certainly is kind of it. It can only get better, and obviously with us having a Battle Royale mode now, once that finishes, it will be extremely good. So I'm looking forward to that, and I'm also looking forward to seeing more gameplay on the stream.
Relax, welcome to the community game. Yeah, Monarch Gamer, give it a try. I mean, it's free. Also, the ESL competition is free to enter as well, so relatively little you need to put up there. If you are looking to find yourself a team to play with, then you'll need to head across to the ESL Discord. I'll post in the chat for everyone. Ace Wonder, you got a bottle of water and no coffee. There you go. We're getting somewhere. So, relax. I had two people whose names I don't even know how to begin saying. Welcome, welcome. Let's see. I don't know if we can pull up any stats about Modern Combat.
Well, why not?
Well, I'm just thinking of the... What does the store say? I mean, that tells you how many downloads it's had, but I don't know if it tells you how many people are playing it currently. I don't know.
That's a good question.
If anyone knows how to find out that kind of stuff, then let us know, and I guess, well, maybe you can just let us know what the result is for MC5. But hey, alright, so we just need one more person to get us started, really, on our community game. Who's it gonna be? Will it be you? Will it be Hero Gaming Simon? Suck at iOS. You're not a fan of the commander? Well, the commander is getting a little bit of a nerf in the next patch, which, personally speaking, I don't know if it's going to make a massive difference to them, but I think the fact that they are getting nerfed at all is a good sign if you are kind of an anti-commander kind of player, just because it means it's on their radar. If something's getting nerfed at all, that suggests that there is some acknowledgement that it's problematic. We'll see. Alright, I'll tell you what. We'll get this one started. Hopefully, we'll keep our players to the end of the game. But you guys can, of course, come and join in whenever you please. We shall shortly be returning with our MC5 ESL competition. For now, though, enjoy, and we'll be back soon. Welcome back, guys. And a well-played game. Oh gosh. So, Pose OP was using completely tier 1 gear and was able to top out that scoreboard. Impressive. So guys, before we get back into our ESL competition, we're going to do a little bit of Battle Royale. Just to, mix things up a little bit. And as Unknown BR says, the Marauder is going to be nerfed in the next update, losing out on some of its sort of, not quite hidden durability, but some of the on-spawn protection effects the class gets, so should make it a little bit easier to deal with. Whew. But now, it's time for the Battle Royale, so if you are watching the stream and you'd like to come and join in, please do queue up right now, and we should hopefully get into the same game. Dealers, which of the many humorous phrases should we ask people to use to indicate they're from the stream?
Ooh. Well, YOLO is the good old one, but I kind of like BAM and Stay Down.
Alright. If you're from the stream, please choose that from the chat menu down there. And then we'll know that you are the person who's probably going to stream snipe us. Wait.
Well, hopefully counterfeit that is not going to happen, because we all played nice.
Let me... Just what I heard.
What now?
I can't remember, where did I used to have that? Is that a sensible place for it? I don't know.
You used to have what?
I'm sure my aim button used to be somewhere sensible. But yes, Ace Wanderer had a good idea. Counterfeit cat. I need to get a cat just so I can have that as a thing. It works better written, I think, than said. But still.
Well, maybe you should change like your profile picture on Twitter. Just add like whiskers and ears to your profile picture.
What a horrifying notion.
Actually, I should do that right now.
So, now YouTube asking you what's happening on PC. I'm not sure what you're referring to. Are you talking about what's happening with PC tournaments, or... No, I need to be a bit more specific.
I don't think there's a PC tournament going on right now.
Well, no, there isn't. That's why I'm particularly confused about what it is they're asking. Hopefully Mao can be a little bit more specific. I feel like I've got coming into the conversation with... It's always strange when someone sort of assumes you know what they're talking about. But then it turns out that that's not the case at all. Alright, so we've got some good armor. I feel like my... Where's my third? There we go. I don't know if putting the melee button over the shoot button is actually a good idea anymore.
Why not?
Well, because you get timed out of melee if you press it more than once, so I don't know if it actually just messes you up. Alright, so we've yet to find a gun, but we've also yet to find anyone else, which is probably a good thing. I think there's definitely other people in the South Village.
It means that you're going to survive for a bit longer, so I guess that's a good thing.
Yeah. Over here? No. Over there? Man, well, I've got plenty of ammo for my pistol. So there's somebody over on that hill looking towards us, which is not ideal, really. Ah, finally an actual gun.
Shoot them. Shoot them.
Well, that's a terrible idea. If I don't even have an actual gun.
Well, aren't you a man? Just kill them with your bare hands. Or are you not a man? Is that what you're telling me? That you are not a man?
Oh gosh. Well, I don't know. If it's determined by whether or not I punch things with my hands, then I guess not in this case.
Well, we do have a code, Mr. Counterfeit.
Is it a code of honor?
Well, it is a code for our next MC5 game.
Well, in that case,
And the lobby is already up. So guys, official ESL action coming your way. And you don't want to miss it.
alright.
Alright.
So this is going to be the Impossible Missions Force versus the Monsters we saw before. The Monsters are fresh off their first round victory. We talked about this prize they have attained for themselves. One of the hardest matches in the tournament. We will be seeing some familiar faces, of course, from the Impossible Missions Force. We'll have perennial, extremely good player Issa N taking part in competition. Impossible Missions Force headed up by Gigi, Issa N, and Virtually Vane. And the Impossible Missions Force, interesting enough, actually have a monster of their own.
Ooh, what monster is that?
Well, they're called Monster.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know if the...
I think there we go. The lobby is up now.
Oh, yes. We're in there right now.
Well, I joined the wrong lobby then.
Huh.
There we go.
Well, I hope we're all on the same page now. So, IMF and the Monsters just stacking up for the first quarterfinal on stream. Our thanks to Pap for getting this all set up for us. One of our admins here today. Let's see.
Yeah.
Ace Wanderer, you're going to get 50% money for it. You can say that they copyrighted you. Oh, I see what you mean, Ace Wanderer. Well, I think probably this counterfeit cat predates myself by quite some distance, so... Oh gosh.
What up?
I think dealers can tell why I said that. And, I
have a better one. Here you go. Yay, ESL action coming our way. Official ESL action.
Oh dear. Well, things can only look up as we head into the quarterfinals. And I guess we'll have some truly horrifying stuff to show later on stream if we ever run out of things to do. So, to the game itself, we're on to Scramble. First of this best of three. IMF certainly coming in as the favourite. They haven't been winning the last two tournaments they've played in, but they've done very well. The one before that they have won. I think they have earned their position as #1 seed today.
They certainly have kind of failed. You know what? You always have to respect the Impossible Missions Force. When you are facing them, you're always finding yourself in quite some trouble. So now the Monsters, they're gonna have one hell of a task ahead of them, but they're coming out to a good start with them finding at least a lead of 1 kill.
Of course, we remember from before, Rum was one of the big carries for the Monster side of the tracks. Currently 3 kills locked in. I don't even know how they managed to kill that last person. They were reloading when it happened. But hey, as long as it keeps on happening, I suppose the Monsters will keep on smiling, keeping themselves pretty healthy for now.
Well, right now, kind of it. Things are slowing down as we see IMF and the Monsters go to each their side of this map. And actually, IMF, they are taking quite a beating from the Monsters so far. Find themselves 4 kills down. Now make that 5. But IMF, this is not what we see every day. Seeing them this far behind is quite unusual.
Yeah, I'm honestly very impressed by what we're getting out of the Monsters right here and now. Gruza also stepping up for the Monsters team with an impressive 4-1 scoreline. As there we go. The air support coming in for the Monsters, the chance for them to start carrying this game away. I mean, it's one thing to do it in the first round of competition against the no players only practice, but it's quite a different thing entirely to pull off the same feat against IMF.
Oh, it certainly is kind of fit, but it would be quite a statement to take down IMF here to begin with, just saying, okay, well, we're facing up against the first seeded team. If we give it our all, then we should be able to take them down, the Monsters. They're doing that right here and right now, giving IMF quite a beating and making them work for it.
So Monsters breaking it through their second 10 kills. Up to 20 as we cross the 4.5 minutes remaining mark. IMF, they're on the outside, on the inside of the central hangar is where the Monsters lurk. Cruiser does get cut down by a big push in by Issa and the rest of the IMF squad. You know, IMF, despite this early setback, are an incredibly dangerous team. The Monsters, they may be ahead right now, but 4 minutes from now, who knows?
Well, that is certainly true. Isa, and
Ooh,
once they get
jeez.
going, they're gonna kill. But Rom finding 3 kills right there, going 10 and 6. So while Isa and are not looking too good, Rom is looking mighty fine. But Isa and they just need one finger, and they will take your entire hand. So while Isa and right now is called Isa and could surely be Isa godlike very, very soon.
Let's check in around and see where the numbers are going through. Issa N has taken a lot of this so far, perhaps speaking of some over-aggression on the player who is normally the ace of whatever team they find themselves on. Has been making up for a little bit, now up to 8-10 as Venom and Rue lock down 2 more. Monsters still stay ahead for now as Issa takes another hit, stays standing for a second, but a grenade from Zen score. We traded across and traded again. Rum though! What row?
Ooh. Rum is so dangerous, Counterfeit. That's another triple kill for Rum right there. The Monsters, they can really rely on this guy. And IMF, they find themselves nearly 10 kills behind. This is unusual, but it's happening. It's history being made in front of our eyes.
IMF could soon be history if this game continues to go this way. I think perhaps a little surprised by the sheer level of ferocity the Monsters have been able to bring out in this first quarter final game. Again, guys, IMF, they are our #1 seeded team. We did not expect this result at all. There's still a little bit of time left to play, but it seems too far gone in this first game's case for IMF to bring back.
Oh, it is doable, but it's going to be so hard, especially with the Monsters now pushing out. And honestly, this has been such a smart decision from the Monsters. Pull back, not go up against IMF on their turf. And then they're gonna have to come to you. And you know, when someone like Rum and someone like Sen are so dangerous with their weapons, forcing your opponents to come to you can only mean one thing, and that is the destruction of the impossible missions force.
Last kill for the Monsters. Who's going to be one to grab it? Rum switching away from that all-powerful support onto the commander to end things out. It's the Monsters ahead by 8 as they defy the odds and take their first victory. In the next round already is Call of Duties from Japan. They will play the winner of this series. For now though, Impossible Missions Force, they've got quite the task ahead of them. Monsters, maybe underestimated, or maybe a team on the rise. We'll find out when we come back from break with Game 2, IMF and Monsters, quarterfinals coming up. Friends, IMF stand one game down against the Monsters. A shocking development in game number 1. Now the Monsters have a chance of knocking out the number 1 seeded squad, IMF, the Korean representatives in the tournament. And it all comes down to this game on rooftops.
Oh, it certainly does, kind of it. And now we're gonna have to see who will be the victor here between Monsters and IMF. Rum coming off to a good start once again. 4 kills here to begin with. But it is the IMF squad that will be getting that extra help from the military support. While, well, you're seeing the bombers and those airstrikes coming in.
I don't think I've seen someone double headshot with a shotgun before quite that way. That was pretty impressive. So Rum and Frenzy both putting in a full day of work for their squads. Frenzy yet to be even killed in the match. Both top players with 5 kills apiece.
But the Monsters are still ahead, kind of it, and it would be quite the upset if they were to entirely take IMF out of this tournament. Play hard, however, is looking for more kills. 7, also trying to see if they can find anything, but it is an even game, and actually IMF will just put themselves a tiny bit ahead. So Monsters aren't exactly being the biggest of monsters here in this game.
Yeah, I think for IMF that it's something of a relief to have Frenzy operating on overtime like they do, as they once again go forward and once again defend the bottom of the stairs. IMF pretty solidly in control of these lower corridors, and the Monsters will have to try and find a way to break in without just immediately getting cut down the second they step foot on those stairs.
Yeah, that is certainly true, and IMF, they're starting to develop a kill lead for themselves, kind of it. Rum popping down with the commander, trying to see if they can find some kills, but will not find any, as Frenzy just moves up and melees Rum to the death. And now the Monsters, they are dropping players, so it's not looking too hot for them right now.
Let's take a look at their numbers. So, yes, Rum with the most kills on the team, but Frenzy and Venom both doing very impressive work for the IMF squad. More what we expected to see from the Korean team playing in blue. Got a little bit of a scrap at the top of the stairs. Issa N, who we always have high expectations of, yet to take flight in this series so far. But if IMF earn themselves a 3rd game here, that's another chance for their players to continue to impress.
Honestly, sometimes all you need is a mediocre performance, and that is what Issa N is doing right now. It's not flashy, but you're getting more kills in than you're giving up, and that is certainly enough. But now Rum is back to their old style, spraying and praying, finding kills right here. That's 3 in a row, and that could be plenty for the Monsters to make their comeback, but the rest of the team needs to step it up, or Monster will just single-handedly carry this game potentially to the victory line for the Monsters.
So the Rum special is to get that triple kill, but the Monsters, they're going to need to find more than that. Play hard 4 and 2 so far. The numbers just aren't there for the Monsters right now with 3 minutes and change left to play. IMF, they're recovering some of their old form, primarily thanks to the heroic effort being put out by Frenzy.
But it is not enough for the Monsters to get the help from Rum. However, IMF, as you mentioned, kind of with Frenzy, 14 and 2. That is an impressive performance, and certainly something that IMF, they can be happy about. So, Frenzy, you could even say that, well, they are on a frenzy right now.
IMF, they
laugh at my pun. Haha.
That's not what a pun is. But don't worry, you get them.
Laugh at me trying to be funny. Ha 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 ha.
Okay, sure.
Anyway, IMF 42 kills. They are really far ahead, but now Rum is stepping up 15 kills, and honestly, Monsters, they just need 5 more to equalize the score.
The big disadvantage of what Rum's trying to do here, which is pre-firing with the shred, is it's a pretty solid way to announce exactly where you are. So while I think Rum can pretty much beat anyone on the IMF squad 1 versus 1, that's just not going to happen, because everywhere Rum goes, the entirety of IMF is going to know about it, and with that final kill coming in, the series is officially tied at 1 game apiece. Dealers, you noted that the Monsters did drop a player, but I don't think that would have honestly made a difference based on what we saw from the other players aside from Rum.
Rum was the big performer here in this game. Did give up a lot of kills as well, so you have to mention that. And it just means that Rum has to play more clean going into the next game, because you can't see so many deaths from the top performer on your team. That is just not a viable option. You would rather see something like Frenzy with an 18-5 score. That is way more healthy for your team.
Well, guys, that will mean a third game beckons. Mere moments ahead, IMF, they have struck back against the Monsters, but only one of these two teams can go forward to face off against Call of Duties in the semi-final. On the other side of the bracket, Score Gaming are taking on Into the Wild already. Score Gaming from Mexico, Into the Wild from Japan. As I mentioned before, a lot of Japanese teams playing here today, but there may not be any Japanese teams in the grand final, depending on how that semi goes. For now though, guys, we'll be headed to break. Game 3, the decider between IMF and the Monsters, coming up right after the break. boom. Game 3 lands. It's here on these streets that one of these teams' journey is over. For the other, things will only continue to grow more intense. IMF, they recovered from a surprising Game 1 loss. Deedless, how do you think this story is going to end?
Ooh, I think if Frenzy continues to be on a tear kind of fit, I can't see Monsters then make that comeback. Frenzy absolutely stepped it up in game number 2, looked unstoppable, and was just tearing through the Monsters like a hungry toddler would tear through ice cream on a hot day.
Well, IMF, they're certainly providing a sticky situation for the Monsters to navigate in the early going. Let's lock down how this is going. Monsters are trying to form a defensive line on the far left-hand side of the map. They are being shoved right back in. Of course, these choke points can very much work against them, as IMF, they never need to go further in to take points, but ISN is more than happy to play with their food.
Yeah, you're certainly right, kind of fit. While this is a viable strategy and something you see very often here on the streets, doing it as the losing team seems rather weird. The Monsters, they need to look for kills. They are the ones who are actually in a bit of a pickle, and instead they're just drawing themselves away from the action, forcing IMF to come to them. And as you said, IMF, they don't have to come to them. They have a 12 kill lead, so there's really no reason for them to even look for kills against the Monsters.
ISN more than happy to remove any individual member. This is one of those situations where I love to see the teams making use of the smoke grenades and similar that are present in the game. I don't think I've actually seen it in ESL competition though. As it is, Monsters have actually managed to break out from that effectively spawn trap on the far left of the map. They're actually on the map, main part of it itself, but I think the damage has already been done.
Oh, it certainly looks like it has been kind of fit. IMF, they are so far ahead of the Monsters, so unless Rom can come in and like do a godlike performance like in game number 1, then it just looks like it will be an over and done deal already for the Monsters. IMF, they have Frenzy, who is on a frenzy. The Monsters, they aren't looking like Monsters, and this game could very well be over.
It's getting tougher by the moment. The big anomaly here really is PlayHard's Monsters, who's 4-0 so far. I don't know why they're staying at this far side of the map though, rather than getting stuck in, because I mean, well, I guess this is going to be one of those situations where the experience of the IMF team is really going to be showing up between them and the Monsters. It feels like Monsters maybe they just haven't played together enough as a team to know what they should be doing at this kind of juncture where everything seems to be lost, and they need something godlike, something like Frenzy for their own team.
Well, I don't think the Monsters, they're going to get that. 3 minutes and 20 seconds left to go, kind of fit. It's looking like a very done deal at this point in time. With IMF getting close to a 20 kill lead, the Monsters, they need to slow down things. They need to strip IMF of all the weapons in order to stand a chance, and that would be cheating and not something that we're probably going to see in MC5 ever. So they can't do it.
Alright then. Rum has locked in an impressive 16 kills so far, but almost as many deaths. Nobody else in the team, apart from PlayHard, is really getting anywhere at all. But again, PlayHard, I don't think I've ever seen this happen before. It's just staying on the far left-hand side of the map, not being involved with the fighting at all. That's the reason they're 6-0. So it's effectively a 3 versus 5, and that will spell the end of the Monsters' reign of terror.
Interesting change of things here in this quarterfinal. The Monsters, they looked good in game number 1. We expected them to perhaps take the entire series against IMF, but they didn't get that. They lost right now, and that means the IMF, they'll be moving forward into the semifinal, looking a bit shaky here today, but still like a team you have to respect.
Guys, we want you back on stream with the passkey ESL 123. We've got a community game in the brewing, and we'd like for you guys to have a lovely cup of MC5 on this warm summer evening. So come and join us. You need tier 7 and below, tier 3 and below armor.
Is it a warm summer evening in the UK? Because it's actually fairly cold outside here in Denmark.
Oh yeah, like in Exeter where I am, it's really warm.
How warm is it?
Let's ask Google temperature in Exeter. It is 15 degrees. That's weird. It feels like it's I think it is very humid here, which I think possibly is what's accounting for it.
Well, it might just be. I think it's let me find the temperature for you. It is 12 degrees outside here in Denmark, or where I am.
Ace Wanderer, you're playing on Android? Well, that's too bad. I hope that you'll at least enjoy seeing the games instead. Thank you for dropping by. Hola, Alexis Acosta Vieira. But yes, you've got to watch out for that Nightbot. Nightbot's not a fan of those big old in caps messages. Let's see, so I think I sort of understand what they said there. Hello, oh, hello, friends of Modern Combat. Hola, ¿qué tal? Hola, ¿qué tal, amigos de Modern Combat? Nice. Well, Alexis, thanks for dropping in and being so very enthusiastic. Blue Eagle and Alone. Alone. Oh, well. Alone are going to phone that one in. Blue Eagle, let's see if we can find you some birdies from the stream to play with. Valentina, I think we've invited already, but let's try once more.
We would love to see you guys play on stream, obviously, because it's always entertaining seeing all the different aspects of MC5. So, obviously, while the professionals, they play MC5 in one way, you guys play it in a completely different way, and there's just so many different aspects to what you guys are doing compared to what the professionals are doing. I'm sure they could learn a thing or two from you guys.
Ace Wanderer, when is the next Android match? That will be in 2 weeks' time. So once the Android and iOS server merge happens, then you'll be sharing all of the iOS tournaments with Android. So it will be twice a week. So that'll be a pretty dramatic change. Could of course wait for confirmation once that does come in, but I believe that will be the case since they'll effectively become the same game at that point. And that will hopefully also mean we'll get to step up PC to being every week as well, which would be nice.
Yeah, well, I certainly wouldn't mind that. It would mean that we could play a bit more kind of it together on stream.
We'll leave it to you guys to play on stream for the time being, though. Please do come and join in with the passkey ESL 123. We shall return in just a little bit with your next ESL match. For now, enjoy, and we'll be back soon. Alright guys, it looks like unfortunately one of our semi-final teams, the Call of Duty squad, will not be able to play because of a missing player, which is rather unfortunate. So we're going to quickly jump out onto the Battle Royale while we check in on the other semi-finals, because we could potentially be getting into our finals pretty darn soon. Either way around it, we'll play this Battle Royale, and whoever that ends up, after this, we will open it up again for community games. Apologies for all of you guys who were sat around waiting for that lobby to start. That was a bit of an unusual circumstance, but we appreciate your patience. Excuse me.
Well, you are excused, Mr. Counterfeit. But yeah, well, guys, now you get to take a look at Counterfeit messing around in Battle Royale. I don't think we can call it the new Battle Royale anymore. It's been out for what, like half a year.
I'm not actually sure. Let's see. Safe, yes. So I'm not sure. So Hero Gaming Summon, do you know that it's definitely going to be in 2 weeks' time? I don't actually remember when it was going to... I know that with the updates, it's always one of the things that it's kind of done when it's done kind of thing. And it does depend a little bit on what comes up during the final testing. So I guess soon is the main thing. I mean, there has already been a playable version of the upcoming patch played on Dulzy's last podcast. So if you want to see it, go back and dig through the video archives, and you'll be able to see it for yourself. So it can't be that far off. And soon you'll be able to run around with robo pets from all around the place.
Can you do that in Battle Royale as well?
I don't think so, but that's a shame, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, who would want to kill anyone when you can pet dogs instead?
Well, I don't believe there is a dog petting mechanic, at least not yet.
No. Well, color me unexcited.
Well, I'm sorry you feel that way. But who knows, maybe one day down the line we'll all have the pets that all good doges deserve. I feel like that's the wrong place for a aim. Let's put up a bit further up. So I'm still trying to figure out what the right... Actually, that feels like that might be more in the right place. There we go. Okay, so let's go and find some new victims. Hoorah! Oh, an actual sniper rifle. Ideal. So we've
now
got...
you can actually shoot people. Nice.
Well, this sniper rifle is fully automatic, or at least no, semi-automatic, fully automatic. You can fire it pretty darn fast either way around it, but your aim will go all to hell if you do that. So I don't really recommend it. I've done it before myself and just not really been able to actually hit anything. I don't actually know under what circumstances you want to do that. I know that sometimes that's the thing with guns, that they'll have modes of fire which are intended for very specific situations, and a lot of the time those situations won't come up. Alright. Are they over here? No. Over here?
Oh, are you finding anyone? No, you're like on the outskirts of the circle, so it's not... I don't think it's easy to find people. And to be fair, it's not a very big lobby you're playing in.
Well, yes, there is only 35 people left alive, but that's a good pickup there.
No, 25.
Ooh, even less. Alright, well, we've got a Bosk. That's a pretty good SMG. Let's load it up with all the good stuff. Excellent. Now we've got ourselves a decent gun, we've got ourselves a reasonable sniper. We can go hunting for other people. In fact, we could just do the classic Battle Royale thing, which is set up along a road and wait for people to come and call them.
Just lay a trap, man. Just camp somewhere.
Pants.
Did you die? No. Wait,
no, but I've gotten
no.
relatively close. They saw me before I saw them. Whew, that was a bit dicey. Alright, I think it's time to get out of here. Ooh, actually, there's some stuff to loot up there. So we're still relatively early on in the game where it's not going to be impossible that someone might actually stay out in the circle. How do we get up in here? Oh, I think I have to go inside. Whoop, and... So our armor is kind of battered, we're down to 1 health pack. And, oh, that's a bit better. Tell me if you see anyone, D-list. Whoop. Over here.
Well, I'm believing in you, man.
I think there's a fair few people over here.
Okay, guys, so a quick update for you all. So, Score Gaming, they won their match against Into the Wild, meaning that Score Gaming, they're going to move into the grand final. Then, possibly since one of the COD team members are missing, as we said earlier on, it means that the grand final ought to be Impossible Missions Force going up against Score Gaming. And Peter died.
I did. I got caught in between a sniper battle, and I think I was a little bit over-ambitious. Well, so there you go. Hero Gaming Simon saying between July 22nd to July 26th should be an approximate drop time for the new update. So that should be exciting stuff. From one free-for-all, though, to another. ESL 123. So, as Zilla said, we will be having our grand finals starting pretty darn soon, but that should never stop us from trying to get you guys back onto stream for what could be the last time today. If you're on iOS, ESL 123, find your way into all kinds of glory. Global chat invite has been sent out, so the stage is set. You need to merely step upon it and claim your slice of fame. Taco Gaming, welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing well. Whew. Man, I can't believe it's like 2 in the morning here in the UK and it's still hot.
Well, you know what? It's cold in Denmark. And I'm gonna have to go for a walk after this broadcast.
Why do you need to go for a walk?
Well, see, I'm leaving for my holiday here tomorrow, so I need to get to my partner's house in order for me to be there when we're leaving tomorrow, since we're leaving early.
Oh no.
So gosh. I have like a 30-minute walk ahead of me once we finish up.
Well, good luck. I hope that you make it through the darkness of that Danish night. I believe we have got our grand finals password, so we'll start this game up and then we'll drop out to get to that ESL game. But this does mean that if you'd like to play with some of your fellow friendos from the stream, just use that ESL 123 or the global chat invite. Both will remain live while we head out for the best of 5 grand finals. So Doulas, I believe you said we have got an update on the final teams that will be taking part in this upcoming competition.
We ought to be. There we go. Yes, and we do have a passkey as well.
Excellent. So we'll be heading into there if the players are all ready, which looks like they aren't quite as of yet. So we're going to jump into that first lobby of a potential 5. We can see conversion will be the first place we'll be headed. IMF and Score. Grand finals coming up in just a few moments' time. We'll take a small break while the players get into place. And we'll get started once again as soon as our first game begins. Prepare yourself, dealers, and the world,
For what now?
for a clash of titans. Score Gaming and IMF in best of 5 action starting out here on Conversion. Only one of these two teams can rise to the very tippy top and claim themselves those $100 dingoes.
But Counterfeit, it's like a dream come true. Seeing Score and IMF go up against each other, it's simply the best of the best.
Of course, one of those impressive players from the IMF side of things will be Frenzy, currently in full-on hunter mode for the IMF team, who are starting out things incredibly strongly with pretty much total control over the center of the map, allowing Gigi to get pretty freaking aggressive with that imp in close quarters.
But it is IMF who are coming out ahead, Counterfeit, and they are looking amazing. Partly because of GG, who are going aggressive with that sniper. But you can't rule out Score Gaming. We have seen them in a lot of finals in the past, and these guys from Mexico, they also know how to rock.
Currently, it's Kasankova, the number 3 player for Score, who's got the most kills on their squad, along with YOLO, who unfortunately for Score Gaming has taken a lot of deaths along the way as well. Danny, one of the rocks, the foundational pieces to the Score Gaming lineup, unfortunately not having the strongest of games so far. Score looking to try and fight back with a brawl in the center. As Danny picks up their first kill, IMF have been driven aside for now, but for how long?
That is certainly the question, but with a 5-kill lead, Counterfeit, while they are going up against Score Gaming, 5 kills isn't actually that big, and IMF, they need to keep this up and they need to develop this lead, or Score Gaming, they could make a comeback pretty damn fast.
Kasanova? Kaskanova. I do apologize. Up the stairs, looking to try and build on their early success. Will be able to reload through and grab another kill. Score Gaming starting to look a little bit better for them. Issa, who mentioned before, a friend of you guys who've never seen Issa play before, they will tend to be a major part of any team victory that they're part of.
But now, IMF ahead by 10 kills, Counterfeit. So, Counterfeit, if you were in this situation, what would you do? Besides, obviously, running and screaming.
I think it's tough. I mean, you're up against the number 1 seeded team in IMF. You know that if you play standard, you're going to have a very tough time with things. I think that's what we're seeing from Score here. It's they've got, we're in a best of 5. You've got the chance to adapt over the course of the series. Try out different methods of play. I think for Score, the big message they got from this game is if they try and go for a brawl with IMF to play standard MC5 against them, it's just not going to work at all. And while we've got, some decent performances, I think Score will need to try something more strategic in Game 2 if they don't want the whole series to go the way Game 1 went.
Well, that is some good analysis right there, Counterfeit. I completely agree with you. Score Gaming, they need to change things up, and one way that they could start by changing, or one thing that they could start changing, is to try and get more consistent kills on their members. Right now, they are just way behind in terms of military support. 13 to IMF, 1 to Score Gaming. It means that you're not going to get airstrikes, you're not going to get bombers, and that means that you're not going to get any help, and thus you're going to fall behind in terms of kills. So Score Gaming, they need to perhaps try and slow down the game and find more consistent kills on the members in order to rack up those kill streaks.
Hey, maybe we'll get an early night. Humana, humana, humana. It's time for Score and IMF to go face to face, head to head. Once more, Game 2 of the finals is here, and Score are already in trouble.
Oh, they certainly are. Down one game, kind of fit. Now on the museum, the IMF members, they're looking to make Score Gaming into fossils to show that the IMF, they're the new stuff, and Score Gaming, they belong in the museum.
This could be a turning point for Score Gaming to equalize this series, or the beginning of the end for them. Score Gaming, representing Mexico, have been a staple of the MC5 scene for so very long. They've had their time in the sun, but some Score Gaming fans would say, I'd imagine, that it's not long enough. Score have a chance to bust through, tie up the series once again, and almost start the finals anew if they can equalize here.
Ooh, but it's not looking good, kind of fit. What I said going into this game was that Score Gaming, they needed to slow down the game, they needed to build up those win streaks in order to gain themselves a good lead in terms of military support. Right now, they're not really getting that, but now we're starting to see that with Danny finding 4 kills out of nowhere.
Very impressive, and Cascanova taken out in that last exchange. Cascanova just taking their first death there. Along with Panchito doing well for the scores side of things. Gigi and Issa, the top bananas for the IMF team in this very close game 2. 2 kills in for IMF. Could it be a third? No, Cascanova. As we come towards that second minute completed, will put Score into a pretty solid position from this early game.
4 kills is mighty fine, kind of fit, and they are starting to gain that lead in military support as well. So as we said, slow down the game, build up win streaks, they're getting all that.
Oscar Reyes, you want to play but you don't have iOS? Well, if you're on PC or if you're on Android, the PC tournament will be next week, Android the week after. And once the server merge comes in, you'll get plenty of chances to play if you're an Android player. Ace Wonder, you drank too much coffee to sleep. Well, just keep knocking back that water, and soon you'll be right as rain. Much like Score Gaming, who are reigning in the pain. A very impressive comeback performance seems to be on the cards.
Score Gaming, now with a new 10 kill lead, kind of fit. They are looking to equalize the score, and I don't see why not. With the way that they are playing here in this game, that should not be a problem at all.
In the next upcoming patch, the Evil Eye core, which you can see Cascanova making great use of there to spot out incoming enemies, that's going to have its efficacy reduced. A very, very common core to see on pretty much any sniper, allows for almost perfect information about what's going on around the map.
But kind of it. Overall, I just said for Score Gaming, for them to win this game, it required that they got military support. And they have gotten military support. Right now, they are sitting quite far up compared to IMF. And you can see that on the kill score, it has helped them quite a lot in staying competitive and staying ahead of IMF.
A big 4-0 reached and breached for Score Gaming. They keep on pushing up that table. IMF, they are almost locked out entirely. You can see there only Issa N maintaining that positive record. For everybody else, it's been a rout in favor of the Mexican team. This has got to go a huge distance towards restoring Danny and the rest of Score Gaming's confidence in this final series.
Oh, it surely will, kind of fit. If you have gone down one game in the best of 5 series, you should never be too dissuaded. You should just say, okay, that's a mistake, we can pick it back up in the next game. And Score Gaming, they do exactly that. Equalize the score, say, IMF, we're gonna take you down, and they put themselves in a commanding position where now if they win one more game, then they will have the championship point.
Big shout out, of course, to Cascanova and to Panchito, both putting in really the lion's share of the work there for IMF. I think surprised by the sheer ferocity that the Mexican team were able to bring back. A very good 16 kill advantage ties up the series 1 game apiece. The turning point, though, remains to be seen. One of these two teams will put themselves within reach of the Challenger Series Blue Cup victory. But which one? Let us know in the chat. We shall return as soon as we've got that Game 3 for you. You don't want to miss it. let's go! It's time for Game 3. Score versus IMF. Who shall take the lead in this grand finals, Daedalus?
Well, with the way the Score Gaming they are playing, they could certainly be the ones to do it. They have the momentum with them right now, but IMF, they are looking good as well in the games that we've seen them today. They are the first year team, so I wouldn't count them out without seeing what they can do right here and right now.
Issa takes first blood, and IMF start things off strongly, advancing through the center and left of the map to a Score Gaming, who have already taken up a defensive posture in top left.
But in the top left is not exactly where you want to be when you're fighting against IMF. It worked for Score Gaming to slow down the game last time around, but right now they're getting sniped by Virtually, and I believe Gigi might have a kill or two as well. Wait, no, only a death.
Very spread kills so far. No big standout players. The whole team's trying to operate as a unit. We got Frenzy trying to bust into the side, and with Gigi will lock down a bunch of kills in a hurry.
Yeah, that looked good right there. And obviously with Score Gaming just running straight into the crosshair of one of the IMF members, it makes it easy for IMF to pick up those kills. Frenzy! What an airstrike! GG also finding their first kill with that airstrike, and now Bomber also coming in. IMF developing this kill lead with that kill support.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Pretty impressive. It's certainly looking like IMF are trying to punch back with just as much force as they were knocked down in game number 2. IMF taking flight here. Frenzy living up to their name, locking down a ludicrous amount of kills, virtually as well, doing some fine sniping work.
Military support has been the name of the game for this series, and what has been the defining factor for the teams. If you have the military support, you can get ahead. And right now, Counterfeit, you want me to hear me manipulate some numbers? Right now, you're seeing IMF with an 800% more military support presence in this game than Score Gaming. I'm actually not sure if that's right, because they have 8 more times than Score, who have 0. But I'm not sure that 800% of 0 is actually 8.
Honestly, I don't know. But I guess we shall find out shortly, is whether Score have got it within themselves to fight back in game number 3. It's certainly looking like IMF are done way too much, especially thanks to a truly eye-watering Frenzy performance. Now up to 13 kills, just absolutely smashing everyone beyond deadly with that Cog V.
And you know what, IMF in general are beyond deadly. Counterfeit 41 kills right now. They just need 9 more and they will have completed this game. They've gotten so much military support this game. Airstrikes and bombers have helped them so much. And beyond that, explosive kills has also been something that they've been getting a lot of. Assists as well. Right now sitting at 15 and 10 respectively. So the team of IMF, this might just be one of their best games ever, and such a perfect example of how to play a complete MC5 game.
It's hard to look past the contribution that Frenzy has made though. Like so many games, you take Frenzy out of the equation, or at least, you know, half Frenzy's score to put them in line with everybody else on the team, and it's looking a hell of a lot closer. As it is though, IMF, they found themselves another very strong showing. You can see Score Gaming, they are done here, and IMF, they are so close to the cup.
Score Gaming, they have one more chance and they desperately need to grab it. Construction side will be our next destination, and if IMF they have such a performance once again, if you allow them to control the early game, they're gonna get the military support and they're gonna take you down as dominantly as they did right here.
Ace Wanderer's got the right idea. Bam! And stay down. Score Gaming will have to fight back from the very disadvantaged position of now being do or die in this next game and any future games that may follow. Guys, we'll take ourselves a small break and hopefully we shall find out. We'll find ourselves another exciting MC5 game. The grand finals are potentially going to end after the break. You don't want to miss it. We'll see you there. Let's get it on. Friends around the world, it's time for IMF and Score to go face to face for perhaps the last time. It's conversion. Will Score. Conversion? What am I talking about? My brain's not even working properly. It's a construction site.
My dude, construction site. IMF out to a good start. 2 kills. Remember what I said, kind of it? Score Gaming can't allow IMF to get control over the early game once again. Or we're just gonna see military support come out and completely smash Score Gaming again. So it's important that Score Gaming, they win these duels early on, that they get these kills and they stop the kill streaks rather from IMF coming into play.
Doesn't seem to be on the cards though for the Mexican squad in the early going. Frenzy, who will of course be keeping an eye out for, and has already started off with a very strong 3-kill lead. Has got that combined arms core as well as the Berserker to keep those kill streaks being a relevant part of the game from the beginning. Score do drop a bomber across with those first 2 kills, but they are falling so far behind. IMF, they are putting the pressure down very early.
Yeah, they certainly are, and that is not too good, but at least with an airstrike, they do pick up 1 more kill. Now, look at what Score Gaming they're doing, grouping up as 3 members over to the right. If you have multiple people, then I guess in theory, you should be able to support each other, but GG, with a bomber could have been a very dangerous proposition for the Score Gaming members.
Panchito seems to be the only hope in the early game, at least, for Score. 4-1 so far. 2/3 of the entirety of the kills that Score have managed to put out in these first 2 minutes. For IMF, though, it's Issa and Frenzy. Those are the 2 players who are locking down some of those big numbers. Issa 5 kills, Frenzy 4. A recipe for disaster, and the ingredients seem to be coming together for IMF.
Now Counterfeit, just relax a bit. Score Gaming, they aren't out yet, and they are making that return possible right here. They went from what, like 2-10 to 8-11. So if IMF aren't careful, then Score Gaming, they're gonna make that comeback happen very, very soon.
They've got Pantito, one of the strongest Score players, on flank defense duty. I don't know about that for Score. It feels like they should be bringing their big guns into where the action is hottest.
Well, certainly should be, but right now, that is not what we're seeing. And Score Gaming, they have actually just completely made this comeback happen. It's 11-10. This is crazy, Counterfeit. How good this is looking for Score Gaming. So if they just keep this up, then this should be their game.
Panchito still staying out of the way, so it's not their highest scoring member, it's the rest of the team that's picking up the numbers. 2 IMF members, Venom and Virtually, have got no kills so far, going some way towards explaining how Score have managed to get back into the game. We've got a fight on the flank between Frenzy and Cascanova, both trying to get that just 1 or 2 bullets through. Frenzy being denied for now, and actually does go down to put Score into the lead, if only for a moment.
Well, it is indeed only for a moment, with us going back to an even state, 13-13, but now that we are coming down to the very last minutes, Counterfeit, every single kill will count for Score Gaming. They're fighting for their tournament lives. For IMF, they're fighting for the chance to win the $100. And obviously, if they could get it without having to sweat too much and without having to go to 5 games, then they would love to do that.
Ace Wanderer suggests they should rush B. Huh?
I think it's the wrong game.
Hey man, if you're looking to attack a site, then what better place to do it than a construction site?
That's true. And the demon rhymes.
Well, site rhymes with site, yes.
Yeah, well, it rhymes in my head. So I guess that's true in my head. But IMF behind by 6 kills, quite surprising with the way that their early game looked. But now that we are getting into the very last minute, Score Gaming, they have a big lead for themselves. They've been getting airstrikes in, they've been getting bombers in, and I'm not quite sure, but you do still have some members on the side of IMF who aren't exactly looking too hard. GG giving up 6 kills, only getting 2 in return. You have Matt as well, 8 and 7. Not exactly the scoreline you want to see from the team who could potentially be winning a grand final.
Score Gaming, they've done so much in this game to bring us through to a 5th Grand Finals game. Something which I'm finding really surprising here, though, is how one-sided each of these games have been to one side or the other. I'm trying to figure out if it's a difference based on the maps, or that both teams are capable of these massive snowballs once they get going.
Well, it might just be that kind of fit, that once you have the control over the game, you can snowball. At least the two teams, they have shown abilities to snowball. But now there's 45 seconds left to go, and 6 kills for IMF to pick up.
IMF have closed that gap considerably on Score Gaming. This is their chance to steal away the end of the game. IMF need to put the fear into Score to get them to lose focus and to sweep Score off the board. It's going to be a very tall task, but Score Gaming, they're not out of the woods quite yet.
Oh, they certainly aren't. 3 more kills for IMF and they will have completely equalized the score. Made it balanced as all things of this should be, but they have 8 seconds, that's 1. Can they find 1 more? As Frenzy actually is able to find 1, 2, but they're searching, they can't find it. Score running away, and that's going to be the game here for Score Gaming. They make sure to not give over a single kill after getting so close. Extremely well played in Score Gaming. They give themselves another shot for the title.
So guys, that is all 4 games in the books and 2 apiece. This next game decides everything, and from what we've seen, we get the snowballs, but when it comes down to the wire, IMF have shown they can punch back. Will Score be able to do the same? Game 5 is only moments away, and we'll see you there. Friends, let's head under the sea and into the mists of the rooftops for our 5th and final game between IMF and Score. One shall stand, one shall fall. Who shall it be?
You know what, Counterfeit? I'm just happy that we're getting to see 3 games of Rooftop here today. It's not often that we do get to see 3 games of Rooftops, but, well, today is my lucky day, and IMF might be our lucky victors as well. At least they're coming out swinging out of the games, finding 3 kills to begin with.
GG, and virtually making IMF's case for the championship very clear and abundant in the early going. Score yet to find any kills of their own, as we'll check in and see what they're doing. So Cascanova with the other Score members in possession of the top of the rooftops, but so far IMF have not put themselves into those sites. It's the end. Looking down another kill.
But we have to say, Counterfeit, that with Score Gaming having the upper side of the rooftops, they do have the high ground, and obviously that means that you can just shoot down upon IMF from those little holes in the actual rooftop that you can fling grenades down there, and that as long as you keep control over the stairs, you should be just capturing IMF down below. But right now, Score Gaming, they're trying to push on to IMF's territory, and they are getting punished heavily from doing so.
You said we've seen rooftops here before. Some if you've seen this one before. Frenzy at the bottom of these stairs, making an impossible object. Score just unable to get down into the depths, and it does remind me that it's only been relatively recently, historically speaking, for MC5 that people have started using the grenades to wallbang, to throw them down, and then use the AoE of the grenade to pass through the floor and hurt those beyond it. For Score Gaming, you mentioned the skylights that you can throw grenades down through. That applies the other way round as well, that a grenade can be thrown back up and if timed properly, explode just on the other side of the skylight going out.
Good points, Counterfeit. Good points. But Score Gaming, I don't think they're thinking too much about that right now. They're just thinking about how they can make their comeback, because they are finding themselves 16 kills behind. And honestly, I'm at a loss of words. I knew IMF, they were a good team, that they are dominant once they get going. But I didn't know that they could be this brutal.
Frenzy taking their time with the Score Gaming members, could have easily executed there with the shotgun. Instead went for the melee kill for maximum satisfaction. Score down the stairs. They have to know that this is Frenzy's lair, and no Score member survives going down those stairs.
No, that is true, Counterfeit. And now with 3 minutes and 44 seconds left remaining, I don't think IMF they're even caring about that time. Score Gaming, they certainly are, because they can still make the comeback happen, but they need a miracle. They need to slow things down. They need to become invincible. And I don't think IMF, they will allow them to do so.
Yellow does manage to pick up a grenade kill, driving Frenzy out onto the main field of battle, and they will go down for the first time this game. YOLO manages to break the unbreakable. Now for Score Gaming, can they win the unwinnable? They are almost behind by twice as many kills to IMF, but Score, they are lighting the fire. Their last 3 minutes to play, and to try and bring this 5th game back.
They are getting a lot of kills, so IMF, they are giving themselves, doing themselves a favor here in this game by giving themselves all those kills. But Score Gaming, they have found a lot as well and have reduced that kill lead quite heftily. So if IMF, they aren't careful, then they could just fall behind Score Gaming and could actually lose this grand final that looked more or less secure just a minute ago.
Panchito walks past those danger stairs. It won't be Frenzy meeting this time round for the rest of IMF. Score They found it in themselves to fight back in this last portion of the game. They're still behind by 10 though. Panchito really stepping up. Missing those last 2 shots though could be crucial. YOLO picks up the slack, grabs that 1 kill, turns into a second as well. Score Gaming. And YOLO, man, it went up to 16 kills now. This is the fiercest I think I've ever seen Score play.
Score Gaming, they're trying their hardest to make that comeback, but it's just looking like it will be a little too late with IMF reaching 42 kills. I think this game is over, Counterfeit. But Score Gaming, they need 3 more, and with 1 minute and 30 seconds left to go, IMF, they have it under control, but Score Gaming, they are fighting to make that comeback.
I think YOLO, whatever happens, has done an incredible job. YOLO was the one who stood up against Frenzy and will take them down again. 1 minute 12 left on the clock. Score Gaming, they've managed to punch their way back through. I think any other team would have given this one up for done, given how far behind they were earlier on. This last minute decides everything. Score grab another kill. JEC managed to lock that down. It's 4 versus 5, but IMF, they are so close to done.
They really are. 3 more, but Score Gaming, they have fought so well, so they could also take this. But IMF, they can taste it. 1 more. Will Frenzy find it? Yes, he will. With that shotgun, Frenzy picks up this championship for IMF and comfortably closes out this grand final.
As Frenzy found the hero of Score, YOLO, at the top of the stairs and shot them down, I knew that game was done. Incredible fighting spirit from the Mexican squad Score, but ultimately Frenzy and the rest of IMF were too much for them to handle. Guys, that's going to be it for our tournament today. I've been Counterfeit, joined by D-List. If you haven't already, please do follow Modern Combat on whatever platform you're watching it on right now. If you'd like to find more about D-List, where should someone look on the intertubes?
Well, obviously, guys, if you enjoyed my commentary alongside Counterfeit, you can find both me and Counterfeit on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. For me, it'll be D-List Casts on all those platforms. For Counterfeit, it should be Counterfeit Cast, so without an S at the end.
That's not confusing at all. Well,
no, yeah.
Never mind, guys. Never mind. Our thanks to Pap for doing the administrative duties today, along with, I think, Aviator feature might have dropped by. And, of course, to our wonderful moderators as well. Hero Gaming Simon, staying up with us and helping out tremendously in particular. Guys, we will be back in 13 hours' time for iOS Red to end out the tournament for the weekend. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. Again, IMF are your champions. Score Gaming takes second place, but by a very small margin. We'll hope to see you guys again tomorrow, and that you'll continue to have plenty more wonderful games of MC5.